Okay, I believe we are live now. Hopefully everything's working right for once. This is why we're doing an early start. Everything right now seems to actually be going right for once. So this is just a chance to test the audio. And we'll start early because I've been sitting on this menu for nearly half an hour now and the music is slowly driving me insane. So yep, I believe we are now live. So, welcome everyone to just a short little, well I say short little, we're doing the entire game, but a little 50 sub special I've been wanting to do for a while now. We are playing through all of, well, every level that is currently in this fan game known as Sonic Project 06. I'm sure some of you might have heard about this game already by its reputation, but this is essentially a fan-made recreation of a pretty notoriously bad Sonic game. I don't think we need to talk much about Sonic 06 as it is now. But yeah, we'll be doing every level as they are currently presented to us as of the Silver Update patch. That is the latest version of the game. And yeah, I say we just get started. So, we'll start with, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. And this is the order that the levels are currently presented, so we'll be playing Sonic up to Wave Ocean as Tails. No bosses are currently in this version, but hopefully it won't be too long until we are. But before we start, I just want to see if there's any way I can get chat into a better spot so I can see you all better. If not, we'll just make do as we've done in the past. So just give me just a couple minutes here. It will get us to our scheduled starting time as well, so the levels will start hopefully at the time I said. In the meantime though, what are your opinions on Sonic 06 as the retail version? Not this fan game, but Sonic 06 as it is on consoles. I think the answer's obvious, but nope, I do not want that. We seem to be on a bit of a go-slow today, my apologies. It wouldn't be a Maswar stream if everything went well the first time. Okay, no, that did not work. No. Okay, we'll just have to make do then. One sec, everything's... Oh no, what's just happened? Are we good? Are we still... Everyone's... Okay, I'm still here. Right, let's go. We'll start with Wave Ocean. So yeah, the improvements are immediately noticeable. In the original section, it was possible to immediately get stuck on that loop. And here as well, it is possible to get Sonic stuck on a loop in the original version, but... Now quickly going over some opinions I've seen about this particular project. I've seen people just sort of try and dismiss it as 06 being an unfixable game. I heavily disagree. I think at its skeleton, there's something to 06, which this fan game has proven. I pressed the wrong button. I was going to try and skip this section. But yeah, I think this fan game hopefully will shift the opinions of, well, as the updates come out, people will see that, yeah, this game is good, and at its skeleton, 06 could have been something if Sega didn't literally split itself in half at the time and try and rush this game out. You'll also notice my life counter. I have played this game a fair bit and gotten pretty much everything, so we will be using some of the gems you can get. Not here though, we're about to switch to Tails. Who, yes, Tails has also seen significant improvement over his retail counterpart. We have the Tailspin from Sonic Adventure. We have a meter so we can see how long we can fly for. I just found the ring bombs, it's easier to tell them from the actual rings you pick up. We'll maybe just skip over most of these enemies. This isn't intended to be a speedrun, but we'll reduce time where we can. Now, we are coming to one of the biggest improvements over Retail 06, the max speed sections. So we now have a new tier of boost in this stage. Objects like rocks and boxes cannot hurt me. As well as we're just way faster than before. Plus, I have actual control over Sonic in the air. In the retail version, you had to commit to your jumps, leading to a lot of unnecessary frustration. We'll take this route instead. We'll get hit, but this game, as you just heard, also incorporates dialogue that was scrapped in the original Sonic 06. Those lines are nowhere to be heard in the retail version. Much like a lot of things in retail, they were cut. Alright, I'll take a B rank. Yeah, moving swiftly on to Dusty Desert. Unfortunately, we're immediately getting into one of my least favourite playstyles, the Sonic and Elise sections. Even in this version, I'm just not the biggest fan of these levels. So the gimmick here, we are using this force field to get over the hazardous terrain to guide Princess Elise to safety. In the original, this follows the boss battle with the Egg Cerberus, who is not present in this game currently. Yeah, that is just me rushing through this level to get it done as soon as possible. I just do not like these levels. Thankfully, there's only two, and one of them isn't until much later on. I'm also using the Legacy homing attack, which basically makes the dash jump similar to how it was in Shadow the Hedgehog, which is my preferred jump dash style. I believe there's also one to make it more like Adventure, but it just does not fit in this game at all. Now this section, you're supposed to time your jumps with the platforms, but if you just hug the edge, you can forget the timing and just go up. Yeah. Up here, get more jump. Princess Elise somehow not getting whiplash through all this. And up we are to the end of the level. And I say, thank God. These Elise levels really are a low point. Yeah, but moving on to one of my personal favourites in Sonic's playthrough, White Acropolis. In the original, you could not, you couldn't kick the ground for extra speed. You were stuck to whatever speed you were currently at. So yeah, this snowboarding section has seen significant improvement. So isn't it great what happens when you just give a game more time in the oven? Because this section really was the worst in the original. But now I don't roll my eyes playing it.
Now that's a big snowball.
Okay. Regardless of speed, you will make that jump. And into Eggman's base we go.
It looks like I can take this slow. I gotta be careful.
Is there anything down here? No, just a spring which will take me up to where I bounced anyway, so onward. Use the green gem for a little tornado. Accidentally get caught by the searchlight. But we can just break it and shut it up. We just have a few extra enemies to deal with, which I can handle due to the bounce bracelet being absolutely busted. Now we'll switch to Tails again. Or we could just entirely skip that. Due to a natural phenomenon known as Tails can fly. Because of that, we can actually skip over all these enemy encounters and hit this switch, ignore those enemies, and switch back to Sonic. Here we'll be using... yeah, we'll use the green gem on them. Now that rainbow gem I will be saving for later, because it is pretty powerful. Yeah, this section pretty much unchanged from the original. But I will be taking what is pretty much the intended route.
It looks like it's equipped with heavy weapons, but those legs look pretty fragile.
I somehow get caught by the searchlight, but we will just ignore that and move on. Also, you probably noticed as I've been using the gems, the meter actually goes down. In the original game, Sonic's meter was never coded, so you can use the gems infinitely. It was as broken as it sounds.
Incredible.
Now, just give me 1 second while I double check just to make sure. Okay, yeah. I was worried for a second we were going to have a repeat of a test stream where I was just sitting here yapping and yapping as I do, until I went to my OBS and realised the microphone just wasn't on. That was just not fun.
Shadow, don't be late. You're talking to me?
Moving on to Crisis City. The level that ended up being the Sonic 06 rep for Sonic Generations, while Shadow now has Kingdom Valley.
Watch out! It's gonna blow up!
Another level I no longer roll my eyes at the thought of playing. So much like last level, we're starting off with skateboarding. Only this time it's fire instead of snow.
Jump!
I'm jumping. Yeah, moving swiftly on to section 2.
To move to an adjacent rail, jump while using the left stick.
Here, rail switching has been fixed. It now just works, similar to how it did in Shadow the Hedgehog.
The whole city's on fire!
You can say a lot about Shadow the Hedgehog, but they got the rail grinding pretty much perfect. Almost. I know some people like Sonic Adventure 2's version of rail grinding, where you have to keep your balance to maintain speed. But I grew up with Shadow the Hedgehog's version of grinding, so it's just the one I'm more familiar with.
Okay, let's blast through here.
On the subject of this game, I've noticed this funny little trend of people trying to rush the developer to get the final update out, and I get it. We're all excited for the final update for this game. I want to fight the bosses, I want to play through the rest of the levels, but are we forgetting that rushed development is what caused Sonic 06 to be the game it is to begin with? I thought it was pretty funny. Now this section can be pretty challenging. This is some pretty tense platforming through what is like a vertical tornado. I don't know exactly what's happening on this bit, but when you play as Sonic, It's very tense platforming. When you play as Shadow, it's just a gliding section.
It looks like I can jump from there.
It's okay, because we're coming up to the part of the level. The highlight. Mach speed section number 2, baby. Let's go. So here, you just want to maintain this top speed and dodge all the big obstacles. While not falling too far behind, because if you do, that tornado is an instant kill. Regardless of your ring count. Yeah, as you see, we are just wiping out tiny obstacles while at tier 3 speed.
Here comes a billboard. Jump.
And boom, level done. Got through that one pretty good.
That was incredible.
And I beat my best time as well. Moving right on to Flame Core. One of the longer levels in this game, actually.
Woohoo! What a view. Lava shoots up from that fiery ground.
Nah, really?
If I use a homing attack on the monster, I'll be able to reach the other side. Gotta be careful not to fall off here.
Yeah, this level... No, not a bad level, just a bit on the longer side. No matter who you're playing as. Although, in Silver's case, it makes sense. This is his final level.
Say hi.
Now, what I'm doing here, the reason I'm bouncing in between enemy attacks is because it keeps my score. So you'll see there, I get the Hunter score. If I ended the combo early by not bouncing, I would get a lower score. So that's why as Sonic, I am bouncing in between homing attacks when fighting groups of enemies. Just homing attack the lava directly. Or sometimes I do just bounce to better position myself. I found it helps with the Legacy jump dash.
That's not a nice welcome.
Ah, so it ends after 3 bounces, it seems.
No sweat. It's raining fire.
Didn't quite make it there, but it's okay, we recovered.
Let's head into the volcano.
Now we're up to section 2 with some of the best music in the game. We'll skip the rail bit and just go straight down here.
Whoa, the flame died.
pretty sure, yeah. If you're confident and you know the route, you can just go straight ahead without having to hit all the lights. The light is pretty much just to help you find your route for first-time players. Take that ring and take a nice little skip. Now we play as Knuckles. Our goal here is to hit all these purple lights. And Knuckles, much like everyone else, has seen significant improvement over his retail counterpart. For one, he doesn't get stuck to walls nearly as often. Well, if at all. Like, I've never gotten stuck to a wall and been unable to jump off. And yeah, that's a short section, but Knuckles is quite fun to play as now. And unlike the retail version, Sonic doesn't start at that gate Knuckles was just at. We actually have to go through the section again as Sonic. I always find it better to jump there so I can dodge the fire better. And that level is done.
That was incredible.
And take the S rank. Moving on to Radical Train. I'm very mixed on this level. On one hand, I like the concept of chasing this train down, but on the other hand, I don't know, something about this level is just... It never made me consider it one of the best for any of the three Hedgehogs. For me, it's just a level that is kind of there. Or maybe it's just the bad memories of me being younger, playing retail, and just not being able to get past this level. Especially on, yeah, especially on Sonic's playthrough, because there's another max speed section, and as I've previously mentioned, they were just the worst sections in the original game. But again, the concept is cool. Sonic chasing a runaway train. If I remember where the switch is, it's there. No, whoa! What happened there? Well, I was about to say, what Sonic says there is a bit of a lie. It is... I found it to just be a bit quicker of being on the rails. Because some of the trains are moving against you. Let's try and have... No, I want you to go the other way. There you go. But despite my opinions on this level, we are actually at the last bit. The max speed section. So I guess I can't fight the level too much, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. Again, like we are already near the end of it. Yeah, you'll see there, like I just have way more control over Sonic in these sections. Just sort of stick to the side here to dodge the debris that's going to explode off the train. Or somehow still get hit by it, like I do.
I'm almost there. Police, hang on.
Take the jump ramp, and it takes you right to the goal ring. We have caught up to the train. And Retail will be ready for the Egg Genesis boss fight. Which is a fight. I'm just dead curious how they're going to make the boss fights better in this version when the update comes out. Okay, it's that time. Tropical Jungle, it's the second Elise carry level.
Let's run straight up.
I've already made my opinions about these bits very clear. Well, I've not made it very clear is my opinion on the storyline involving these two. I don't even think I need to say it. It's weird. It is just very, very weird. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
Hang on tight. I'm going right up the middle. We're getting out of the cave.
And take this. And take a nice little shortcut here. Yeah, I just want to get this bit done. So I already know what level's next.
Let's rip. Elise, are you all right?
Yes.
If you put your power together, you will be able to walk on this rip. Gotta make sure I don't fall in the water.
Right, where do we go? Okay, over there. Yeah, you can tell you can tell I don't play this level much. In fact, fun little story. This was the worst S rank for me. For some reason, I just could not get the S rank on this level, no matter how hard I tried. At least at first, obviously I eventually got it. But yeah, that level sucks. Moving on. I don't want to be too harsh on this project. It's working off the skeleton of Sonic 06 of all games. And funny enough, I mentioned struggling to get the S rank, and we get it. Here we go. One of the best levels in this game. Kingdom Valley.
Silk, we don't have time. Let's get to Elise right away. All right.
Again, this level, much like Flame Core, is on the longer side, but I don't care. This level is just so good. It is a race through the valley to get to Eggman's battleship. Here we go, just carefully position myself so I can get the glide. Or the light dash. As well as in the story, this is the point where Sonic and Silver put aside their differences and start teaming up, as we saw in that brief opening cutscene. Yeah, I love this level. It is visually stunning. I love just the action, the stakes of it as well, and the music reflects these stakes. And we get to play as Silver the Hedgehog. Just gonna move these out of the way, move the bars. And yeah. I don't even think I need to talk about how much Silver's been improved in this version of the game. For starters, Silver's actually quick now. In retail, he is the slowest character and his gameplay does just suffer for it. Yeah. And my opinions on Silver as a character, I think he's great. I genuinely think he's one of the best. He just has the unfortunate circumstance of debuting in 06. Now, what I just did there, I entered a state called ESP Overdrive, I believe is what it's called. And it's Silver's, like, secret, enhanced mode. I used it there because we're not gonna, obviously we're playing as Sonic now. Yeah, cool little section where you get to play as Silver. And don't worry, we'll obviously be seeing a lot more of Silver in the future. Now, if I remember correctly, I think this is where you get the Rainbow Gem, once you've got all the S ranks. But I'll be saving the Rainbow Gem for the last level, well, the last Sonic level. Which, actually, yeah, it's the next one, so... I pressed the wrong button! But it's okay, the momentum just bounced me all the way up anyway. Does this work here? No, it doesn't. I'm just breakdancing. I could use the white gem, but I don't like the white gem. I knew I had to stop myself there because there's a wall. I will, however, use the green gem here and just wipe them all out.
That's a lot of enemies.
He says as if we've not just taken out a wave of them.
You collect these. Silver, it's all yours.
And the third and final, no, fourth and final Sonic Max Speed section, and it is the best one. I mean, just look at this. Visually, this is the best set piece I think I've ever seen in Sonic, and it has just been enhanced thanks to this fan remake. Well, also Shadow Generations had this section, and it was stunning there as well. As well as, for those who remember, this was one of the first, like, teasers for the game. It showed Sonic in this section running away from the Eggman robots. Oh, if only we knew back then the legacy, the unfortunate legacy Sonic 06 would have as a game. Hey, I beat my ring count.
That was incredible.
I think that's my ring count beat because I always use Super Sonic in this section. But this is the, this is the final Sonic level in the campaign. This is the end of the story for Sonic. Aquatic Base.
Take off any minute. Tails,
This is my favourite level.
if I slide, I can squeeze through.
I know I was just like praising Kingdom Valley to hell and back, but this is my personal favourite.
Security's tight. Be careful.
Especially for Sonic, because this is obviously gearing up for another battle against Eggman.
This seems to be a Soliana laboratory. It looks like it was perfect.
Plus, Sonic's takes place in modern day, whereas, as we'll see later on, Shadow and Silver's take place in the past. And the music. I cannot get enough of this game's music.
This mysterious magnetic force. If you attack the switch, the magnet will activate.
There are more enemies somewhere. Yes, there are. Holy, slow down.
It looks like I can grab the handle to move.
Now this... Those seeing that ball might have just gotten some bad memories, but rest assured this section is
I'll be able to
much better now.
Be careful not to fall.
The ball is way more responsive to my controls. Plus, it's a bit generous. If you do make a mistake and hit the laser, you don't immediately pop. You get 2 hits. The first hit will shrink you, so you can't get these rings appear. But the second hit is where it pops. So you're actually given a bit of leeway for mistakes.
Tails.
Yep, as you just saw there, I tried to rush, and in the original, that would have been game over.
Leave it up to me.
Which, yeah, I get it's the final level, but that was a bit harsh in the original, especially for a new mechanic. We'll just completely skip over this bit. And we'll just tailspin all the enemies away. And this part, there's actually a cheeky little skip you can do there. Can you tell I play this level a lot, since this is the one I seem to know a lot of the skips for. Then again, it's just Tails' skips are remarkably easy because he can fly.
Thank you, Tails. You are a big help.
Going back to Sonic.
Dang it. The door opens, it activates the robots. Tails.
Actually, I should probably just... Can I slide into these? Yes, I can.
You can change the route. These guys
I mean, like, just look at this level. It is beautiful. to Section 2 with the best OST for Sonic Story. Thankfully, they added a little gust of wind there to save you if you did fall there.
There's the magnet switch. Pushing it, the trap should open.
How about a little help?
Sonic, we're out of time.
Switching to Knuckles one last time.
Care of the rest.
I love this level. It's I can't, this level's just so good. It's such a good finale for Sonic's story.
Dang, where's the switch to turn off the laser?
Knuckles, thanks. All right.
And we'll now go Rainbow Gem, go Supersonic for this last bit. Supersonic, as you probably expect, he is completely invulnerable to attack. And gets a major speed boost. At level 2, he gets enhanced jump and passive speed, and at tier 3, he can use Hour of Light, which is like a short boost that just decimates anything it touches. We are now at tier 3, so we can Hour of Light right through all these enemies. If I wasn't Supersonic, that would probably hurt, but I don't like the original. Sonic's friends will pose to them for the victory screen, because they helped. And yeah, if this was the original game, or if the final update was out, we'd now go on to the Egg Wyvern boss fight, Sonic's final boss, but no. Instead, we'll be doing the extra level, which is Wave Ocean again, but this time we're doing almost the whole thing as Tails.
Elise is on that battleship? Wait up, we're coming!
I actually forgot what point in the story this section takes place at. There's literally just a random section where Tails goes off on his own to chase the battleship in Wave Ocean again on foot. And I genuinely, I cannot remember what point in the story this part is. Yeah, because we're playing as Tails again, we can just fly over a lot of parts of this level. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, we literally just flew over half of what we had to go through on foot as Sonic. Also, yeah, speaking of that last update, I also can't wait to see some of the changes made to the end of the world level. Ow. Yeah, and as you can see here, we're literally just going through the same section we did as Tails before. Again. So I'm literally going to do pretty much exactly what I did last time. So yeah, bit of a pointless level, but that is all of Sonic's levels done.
Well, not bad.
And the other thing that's being added to the last update that I'm looking forward to is Team Attack Amigo. I believe it's just a bunch of levels where you play as the Amigo characters, so Tails, Knuckles, all them. We're now moving on to the best character in the Sonic franchise. Don't let anyone tell you different. It's Shadow the Hedgehog. He starts at White Acropolis. Right, so Shadow's story begins with him infiltrating Eggman's base as per a request from Gun. Because yes, going off of last game, Shadow now suddenly works for Gun. When he said he was going to put his past behind him, he really meant it. Me personally, I'd probably hold a bit more of a grudge against the people that, like, shot my childhood friend in the back. But he really put his past behind him. And we're here to rescue a captured agent. Now, Shadow's ability is Chaos Boost. As you saw there, I can enhance myself at any point and do way more damage. And it goes up 3 tiers. 4 tiers if you have the shard at you get for all S ranks. But now, forget about that, we're playing as Rouge. She's pretty much Knuckles, but with bombs. And much like Knuckles, her glide just allows her to skip over this entire section, so short-lived, but it's not the last we'll see of Rouge.
Dr. Eggman is no match for you. Shadow, why you?
It's a request from the president. I didn't know that you were the agent who failed to infiltrate the location.
Come on. Don't underestimate Rouge the Bat. I got in successfully and got the treasure too. I was only a little slow getting out.
We don't need to stay long. Let's go.
Yeah, now we're switching back to Shadow. Now, unlike Sonic's section, we do not just simply head to the goal ring. At this part, we need to destroy, as I say in, we need to destroy 5 searchlights to get out. Doesn't matter if you get caught in them, at the end of the day, just make sure they are all destroyed. Now, in the retail version, you had to fully destroy them using an armed buggy. You had to destroy the posts and everything. But in this version, you can just safely break... you can safely break only the light part, and that counts. I'll save that one for last, because it's where Sonic's level ended anyway, and this one is just closer. Yeah, so it was pretty short, but don't worry, we'll be seeing more of Shadow's abilities in later levels as difficulty starts to ramp up. Just briefly go over it. He can do this little combo here. Good for taking out most heavier enemies. But Shadow is essentially just Sonic again, but he's more focused on combat.
Now we can get out of the base.
Yeah, that's Shadow's White Acropolis done.
Perfect.
So, if this was the original game or the last update, I would move on to Shadow's Egg Cerberus fight. But they are not currently in the game, so we're moving right on to Kingdom Valley. Kingdom Valley is Shadow's second level, and is what they chose to rep for Sonic 06 for Shadow Generations.
This is Kingdom Valley. Long ago, there was a royal castle.
Now it starts with a gliding section. That's another difference with Shadow. He has vehicles. He gets a glider, a buggy, a hovercraft, like a hover vehicle and a bike. But it's already done. The mandatory vehicle sections don't last that long.
It looks like you need to find 3
Now.
ways to move on. Leave it to me.
So this section, in the original game, you did not have that radar, but the locations were fixed. They were the same every time. In this version, the locations are randomized, but you now have that radar, similar to how Rouge and Knuckles levels worked in Sonic Adventure 2. I think that's way better. Even though the locations were fixed, on a first time go around, it could be pretty annoying. Yeah, and this is Rouge's moveset again. She is pretty much just Knuckles again, but she has access to bombs. So we're just going to go around until the radar starts pinging. And we go from there. I think... Whereabouts is it? Is it over here?
Like it's equipped with heavy weapons. I bet his legs are pretty fragile.
It's not over here. Okay, one of them's definitely over here. Holy lag! There's the second one. The third one. Where is the third one? Oh, it's over here. There it is.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, that's a better look at Rouge's gameplay over the section of White Acropolis that we pretty much skipped over. Hover vehicle, let's go. Careful of those falling pillars when you shoot them, they do a lot of damage. In the original, they're pretty much instant kill. As you saw there, I genuinely... I did not see that coming. And yeah, that was a fair bit of damage. Ow. I did not mean to press the Y button. I meant to press the X button. Whoops. Yeah, so much like my Project Reignition video, I'm using a Switch controller. So obviously, some of the buttons are not what they're saying they are. Or they're in a different position, and muscle memory messed me up there. What I'm trying to remember is how I... Okay, it's X to brake, because there's something in this bit. I believe it's right here. Yep, there he is. There's an Easter egg. You can spot Chaos Zero from Sonic Adventure. He is still out there. That was nowhere to be seen in the original, by the way. That is entirely new for this game. Now, somewhere over there, I can't get into it consistently, so I'm not really going to try. But there's like a bunch of enemies you can fight, and then you get like a stash of rings.
We're getting close to the extraction point.
I'm not going to Chaos Boost yet. I'm going to wait for an actual wave of enemies. Or I can slip off the ledge because I pressed the direction too late.
Extraction point.
Okay, there was no need to jump dash anyway. Oh, that was just me being stupid. Yeah, we'll just Chaos Boost now. If I can keep just killing enemies, the meter will stay. And at level 1, it doesn't drain that quick anyway, so... And I have to manually activate every tier, so I'm in control when the gauge starts to drain more. Actually, there's more enemies going to appear, so we'll go to tier 2. And it just wipes them all out. So yeah, so that meter down there, I believe it's called the maturity meter. I can't remember if it was going to be in the retail version or not, but it's a thing in this version. And it basically just makes a character's abilities more powerful. It's mainly for the 3 hedgehogs, Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. Because obviously, the Amigo characters can't be powered up or enhanced through items. Shadow can also Chaos Spear. Uncharged, it just stuns enemies, but if you let it charge up for a bit, it will do a little bit of damage. It is also enhanced with Chaos Boost. Might as well just Chaos Boost for this last bit. Don't worry, we will see a tier 3 Chaos Boost eventually, and even what's beyond that. Yeah, that's a pretty long level for a stage 2, though. I know I died a few times, but... Moving on to Shadow's Crisis City. At this point, Shadow and Rouge have been sent into the destroyed future by Mephiles,
Don't be late. You're talking to me?
where they've met with Sonic and the gang, and they are teaming up. So we're seeing Shadow's side of this level. Unlike Sonic, Shadow starts on foot. And like a lot of the other levels, he is more combat focused. Also, Chaos Spear has a similar property to Sonic's Mount Bracelet, where if I use it mid-combo, it keeps the combo going until I touch the ground or use up to 3. I mistimed it there, but that's what it does. It's good for keep getting higher scores, because S ranks in this game are determined on your score rather than your time. I believe it will be endlessly debated which one's better. I don't care as long as it's just a bit challenging. The issue with this game is if you get over, I believe it was 50,000, or... I believe so. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see. I'm confident in getting another S rank. But the score threshold for an S rank is the same across all levels for all 3 hedgehogs. So once again, they give you a tutorial on rail switching, but you can mainly just stick to one, except for this end bit here, jump off. Quite a few enemies, so let's boost. I'll just show the tier 3 boost. You get the ability to Chaos Blast, much like how you could back in Shadow the Hedgehog. It was in the retail version, but it was so laughably weak. It was so laughably weak, it just wasn't worth using. But this version, it has seen significant improvement. I don't think we'll get to see... No. So we're not going to get to see what's beyond the tier 3 yet. But we will. Guarantee we will. If not, I will show it off in the test level. Like I said in Sonic section, this part, you get a vehicle. Whereas Sonic is platforming through all that, Shadow just gets to fly about it and recklessly crash into everything. What is happening with me today? It's okay. I find the health on the glider is very forgiving. And much like the Kingdom Valley part, we are already done with it, so it really doesn't matter. This is Shadow's final section. Because Shadow does not get Mach Speed sections, he gets a more traditional platforming level. Chaos boosted there because we're due to take on quite a few enemies. As long as I just take them all out, I keep my boost going. There we go. See there? So Shadow's homing attack is shorter distance than Sonic's, but he gets the Chaos Snap ability, which lets him snap towards the target that's just out of reach. Ooh, I see a good opportunity for a Chaos Blast. I'd say I should be getting more gems than that to keep my form going. Unfortunately, again, we won't be getting his sort of super form yet. It's not Super Shadow, but it's pretty close to being it. Okay, yeah. So, if I did have Chaos Snap, I would have made that, but I did not. Really? Attacking a dude mid-transformation. And boom, Shadow's Crisis City completed. Yeah, so once you get over I've already forgotten. But once you get over that score threshold, you are guaranteed the S. But the score, like your base score, will reset when you die. Going on to Shadow's Flame Gore. This one is almost identical to Sonic's. Pretty much identical, I think just some of the enemies are replaced by stronger variants. And also just the fact we're playing as Shadow, who is the better character. I'm sorry, he's just my favourite. Okay, he jumped in the lava. I mean, it's not a problem for him, but like I'm trying to attack him, so if he could just not go where I can't. I'm going to boost here because there's a big enemy section coming up. So yeah, so I'm going to quickly grab these to get the maturity meter maxed out. Cheeky Chaos Blast here to get more gems, so now I can finally show. Pressing up and the trigger button, we enter uninhibited mode. Shadow has taken his inhibitor rings off and is now at full power. He one-shots everything, is invincible, Chaos Spears do more damage, however, the meter, as you see, is draining very rapidly. So yeah, everything is now being one-shot by us. But we really have to work to keep it going. Okay, I want to make it over there before it runs out. Nope. Okay. So when it runs out, Shadow will have to stop in place and rest for several seconds. Which is why I really wanted to make it to that platform before it ran out. But yeah, so whereas Supersonic is pretty much has the ability of all gems but is a master of none, Uninhibited Shadow is an unstoppable tank, but you really have to work to gain and maintain the form. Otherwise you're going to suffer some pretty nasty consequences, especially like that when I was in a bad spot. I am good at this game, I swear. Another enemy wave coming up, so let's get ready. Uninhibited Shadow does also get Chaos Blast, but I personally find it not worth using because it uses so much meter, and the meter is already draining so rapidly. You see, the longer I take down enemies, the longer this form goes, even at tier 3, when the meter starts draining a bit more quicker than usual. But we're now inside the volcano again. I mean, I guess it just kind of makes sense why the level's almost identical. It is the same place, and both teams are taking the same route to get to the Chaos Emerald. If anything, I'd say Shadow gets there first, because for Sonic, a lot of the tougher enemies are already taken out. meaning Shadow's team has already been through here. But I mean, they arrived close enough anyway to where in the cutscene they are together. Much like before, you don't have to use the lights. I'm going to do a debatably unnecessary Chaos Blast, but it's not always about the value of a Chaos Blast. Sometimes it's just about sending the message. No, it didn't. No. Lost the boost, but
Just leave everything to me.
now we're playing as Rouge once again. Same objective as Knuckles. They're in the same spot, no need for a radar, and they're pretty easy to spot. I say, but I have missed some of them before.
You saved me.
Alright, we're coming to the end of the level once again. So I will try to get the most out of a boost form. I probably could have Chaos Blasted there just to get a bunch of enemy kills, but they're not a problem anyway, so we'll just finish Shadow's Flame Core there. And walk away with a lovely S rank. Oh, here we go again. Moving on to Shadow's version of Radical Train. This is a bit different to Sonic's. So yeah, so instead of chasing a train full of civilians in this first section, we're instead chasing Eggman's train directly. And our goal is to destroy the train so that Eggman does not get away. We got here a bit earlier than expected, so yeah. Shadow's mission here is to destroy the train so he can talk to Eggman about Mephiles.
This conveyor belt changes direction. They explode on impact.
Otherwise, though, this level is very similar to Sonic's, so yet again.
This scale is fragile. My energies won't cross it. I better speed up.
No, you don't. The train's not there. Overdramatic hedgehog. We'll just do a Chaos Blast here. The enemies aren't a problem anyway. Now this section actually is a bit different from Sonic's. So instead of a max speed section, we have a bike section you take this bike and go through the level almost as normal. Now, you notice there, with Chaos Boost active, I get unlimited ammo.
Those attacks are gonna keep me away.
But the goal here, instead of just catching the train like you do for Sonic, fully destroy the train as Shadow. How this lines up in terms of story, I don't know. I assume maybe Shadow stops the train at the same time Sonic catches it, and they just don't notice each other, because Sonic, I assume, just swoops in to get Elise, whereas Shadow sticks around to sort of interrogate Eggman. But they meet up shortly afterwards, where Shadow saves Sonic from Silver. So at this point, we would be fighting Silver the Hedgehog. But again, he's not in the game right now. Well, his boss fight's not in the game right now, so we are moving on to Shadow's version of Aquatic Base. As I mentioned in Sonic's version, Shadow and Silver go back in the past for their version of the stage, so they can discover the truth of what happened during the Solaris project. So Shadow is after Mephiles, Silver is after Iblis. And this level actually does feel quite a bit different from Sonic's, not just because, again, it's in the past and there's like a filter over the stage. There's way more combat in this version of the stage, and the last section is slightly different as well. Even if the layout is kind of similar. We'll just do Chaos Blast this very unfortunate Dark Worm. Now we are playing as Silver once again. Now, something I forgot to mention. Thanks to an upgrade you get during Silver's levels, Silver can Badnik bounce. He could not do that in the OG game. Yeah. Now, I could take that skip I did with Tails again, but I will instead ESP Overdrive, fly all the way over. ESP Overdrive. I didn't even talk about what ESP Overdrive exactly does. So that initial burst will stun and kill enemies nearby it. But during the actual state he's in, Silver has reduced gauge usage, so the gauge drains much slower. I believe he also gains a passive bullet shield that's just there at all times. And his charge for like his psychic knife is reduced. Yeah, a lot of the praises I say about Aquatic Base for Sonic are also true for Shadow and Silver. This level is just amazing. Even if it is 50 years, not 50 years, sorry, I'm thinking of Shadow's story in general, but 10 years in the past as a terrible accident is occurring. Shadow just can't seem to stay away from terrible accidents occurring, can he? And the awesome music is back once again. We'll just Chaos Blast through this whole level. Okay, no, it is a bit unnecessary in this section, though, I do admit, because there is just the magnet switch. But we will go uninhibited mode. to deal with these stronger enemies, and hopefully keep it throughout this last section. Or Chaos Blast anyway. It is taking all of my willpower to not hum along with this song. You can't see it, but I am vibing hard right now. But we'll finish the level as Uninhibited Shadow. Yeah, the reason I didn't use Supersonic until his last section was just because it's so overpowered and it's so easy to keep. Whereas Uninhibited Shadow and ESP Silver are more limited. Yeah. Moving on to Shadow's Wave Ocean. It takes him till this point in the story to go to Sonic's first level. But, to reflect that, this version now takes place during sunset, which did not happen in the original game. Wow, they do a lot of damage. Yeah, it is the sunset on this adventure. And we have got to go after Mephiles once again. Well, not go after Mephiles, provide backup to Omega, who has gone to chase Mephiles. At this point, Rouge's stage has happened, but we'll get to that after we've done all the Shadows levels. Again, I'm doing them in the order they're presented, not in the order they actually take place. But I am more than happy to come back to this game when the last update comes out to give the full, close to retail experience. Now we get to play as Omega. I pressed all the wrong buttons. So Omega now has a melee, and the combo pretty much mirrors his combo from Sonic Heroes when he was playable in that game. Otherwise though, he's got his lock on and his fly shoot, which is less, it's less cheesable now. The meter does drain and there is a limit to it. In the original, you could do that indefinitely and it made Omega's sections remarkably easy. I once again pressed all the wrong buttons. Again, I'm using a Switch controller, go easy on me here. Yeah, so we're pretty much just doing Sonic section, but this time as Omega. Now the other thing he can do, pressing the Y button, you can pretty much play Doom. You enter what is like a semi-first person state, and you have full aim to just tear everything apart. And the score doesn't even tally up fully until you come out the mode, so it's a good opportunity to get tons of points. Even though we are coming to the end of Shadow's journey, this actually is not the last we'll see of Omega in this game during this section, during this playthrough. I might as well just do it here for this last bit. These enemies are stronger anyway, so... And there he is. So now we're going to go to where Omega is. This section is nowhere to be seen in Sonic's version. This is a whole new section. There is an armoured buggy there, however, I will not be taking it. Shadow is just better at dealing with enemies on foot. We'll go uninhibited. Why not? We can have a little uninhibited mode as a treat. Plus, it'll be less dangerous if I run out. This section's not particularly platformer heavy. And there's a lot of enemies, so we really just get to cut loose and just go full force, uninhibited. Yeah, so as you can see here, because I've run out, Shadow will have to stop and rest for a moment before he's able to get back up. Just a little drawback for not being careful with such great power at your disposal. Where is... There you are. There's the rest of you. Now this bit's got a bit of tricky platforming. Thankfully Shadow was able to save himself. Even though we are using Legacy Jump Dash, we are not suffering a case of what was called stray homing attack, where in Shadow the Hedgehog, your homing attack just goes right off, leading to a frustrating and out of control death. Now, I will go uninhibited before, well not uninhibited, but power up before going on this other vehicle just to show we do in fact get unlimited ammo. So we can just blast everything. Watch out for the whales, they seem to have a grudge against hedgehogs. It's been a thing since Sonic Adventure 1. I doubt it's going away anytime soon. I don't know what caused the feud, but I know dolphins have made up a slur for hedgehogs at this point. Whales even. Why did I say dolphin? Coming up to Shadow's final level. Dusty Deserts. What was Sonic's second is Shadow's last. Now this section, it's a mandatory hover vehicle section, much like last level. We must drive through these pillars to make the gate open. I think there is a skip somewhere, but I can't for the life of me find it, and I'm not going to waste time doing so. Now what I'm doing here, so you can double tap the jump button to keep yourself aligned straight in the air if for any reason you go off. Give me a second while I figure out exactly what button to press. Again, go easy on me guys, I'm using a Switch controller for Pete's sake. Without thinking to use droid to key, it slipped my mind. Sadly, we cannot go uninhibited here, or, well, power up here. We cannot get off the hovercraft. Even if we could, we would die. Don't even need to fight the enemies, we can just go straight in. I cannot imagine trying to aim that with all those enemies. Now, yes, this is a big difference between levels. So Sonic was only on the outside part of the desert. Shadow goes inside. Shadow goes inside where Mephiles promises one final showdown. Now the sand you won't sink into. The reason they tell you to stay out of it is because of the waves that will push you back. And like I said, we play as Omega one final time. We sadly do not play as Rouge. Yeah, despite the fact that Rouge is currently like on the team and does accompany Shadow to this location, there's no section where you play as Rouge. Which is a shame. I think it was so cool in Sonic's finale. You played as Tails and Knuckles for like the last bit. But here it's only Omega. No, I want to go down. Thank you. Somehow fly back up. Ah, they're over there. How do I get over there? Oh, I can just shoot them from here. In fact, if I go like this... There we go. And now the door has opened, which I fall right past. Maybe there's more enemies. Oh, I forgot about that. Actually, we'll just go Doom mode here and just wipe them all out. And there we go. Omega section is done. Back to Shadow. Yeah, I think it's a missed opportunity to have Rouge as well as have them just both with him, like at his side at all times. Because at this point, Shadow has just learned to accept that. Pretty much just learned that they're a team. Why are you not taking damage? There we go. Now, that route over there is where you get the memory shard that unlocks Shadow's uninhibited mode. Once you get all the S ranks, obviously. No, you already fell off once back in 2005 with the release of your own game. Okay, I can't Shadow. I can't slander Shadow the Hedgehog too badly. I do defend that game more than others. Yeah, that was Shadow's final level. Onward to fight Mephiles. God, that level was on the longer side as well. I don't notice during play. I'm just having so much fun. Like, I love this game. got the extra level, which is Rouge's Tropical Jungle.
It looks like you need to find 3 keys to move on. Leave it to me. This lotus will throw you high and
And yeah, much like our previous sections, this is entirely a treasure hunting stage. Very similar to Sonic Adventure 2. Again, I believe actually in the original game, you didn't even need to find keys. You could literally just fly over all this to the end. The keys are new to this version of the game. Now, I already know one of them's near the goal ring anyway. If we just fly around, eventually it will start pinging. This is how I handle a lot of the treasure hunting levels. I know some people give the treasure hunting stages flack in Sonic Adventure 2, but I really don't mind them. Aha, there it is. Now the goal ring's over here, meaning another key is behind this cage. We can just nab that now. Just take that. And the last one, even without being able to fly over the entire level, it's still a pretty short level. Again though, you gotta give them credit, they were working off the skeleton of Sonic 06 of all games. I'd say it might be possible for other games, but then someone's gonna say, oh, but what about Sonic Boom? That game just should not exist. It's in this crate. Yeah, Sonic Boom should just not exist at all. Forces, maybe. You need a lot of work on Forces, though. Bold take, I prefer 06 to Forces, because at least it feels like that game tried. The one good thing about Forces was the soundtrack. And I guess the concept of Infinite, but they just did nothing with him. But my mandatory Sonic Forces slander out the way. That's the end of Shadows campaign. That's all the Shadows levels done. One more set of levels left.
that was pretty good, I guess.
Last, but certainly not least, it's Silver the Hedgehog, who, out of all three, has seen the most improvement because, my god, he really, really needed it. Yeah, Silver is vastly improved over his retail counterpart. He is faster. I've said it all in Sonic section, but he's faster. His abilities are more fun to use. And he can actually badnik bounce. Yeah, and also, you've no doubt noticed the lighting for Silver's Crisis City is a bit different. This is as it appears during Silver's time. It is nighttime. Very cool attention to detail. Matches the cutscene well. Yeah, this is how Forces should have looked. There's another bit of shade thrown at Forces. To be fair, I probably don't even need the... better safe than sorry.
When it opens its mouth,
very carefully positioned myself. I was very close to making a dumb mistake. Yeah, we'll be seeing more of Silver's like super ability because it's just easier to get than Shadow's. However, the meter, as you can see, does not go up with enemy kills. I cannot... Ooh! I cannot prolong Silver's ESP overdrive. Okay, there's one thing that I'm gonna hope they fix in the last update. Better drop shadows. Some sections like that, it can be pretty hard to tell where you're gonna land. Like, your character does have a shadow, but maybe just like a solid black circle under where you're gonna fall, just so you can judge it better. Small thing, but it'd probably help. Actually, this one I don't need. I can just fly. Also, that's the other thing, enemies in this version are easier to pick up, because in the original you had to smack them and get real close. It was so frustrating. But enough about Silver, we're now playing as Blaze. She plays very similarly to Sonic, so therefore she is my favourite of the Amigo characters. Which makes sense. In Sonic Rush, she's obviously like a alternate dimension counterpart to Sonic. Yeah, Blaze is also just a character I wish got more attention. Like, Blaze and Silver just need more. I mean, come on, they gave Shadow a whole year to himself, where he appeared in several projects and got another game all to himself. Like, Silver's fanbase isn't as large, but it's still there. Speaking of Silver, we're back to control of him. We actually don't really need to use that room, we can just fly over, stun you, yoink. See, that bad neck bounce, if I didn't have it, I would take damage there. And we'll walk away with a lovely S rank. Silver's level 2 is Tropical Jungle. Silver has been sent back into the past to defeat the Iblis Trigger, who he believes is Sonic. And we are hunting for Sonic right now. So yeah, so it's very similar to Rouge's version that we just played. But I found this one, because Silver's flight isn't unlimited like Rouge's is, you have to engage with the level a bit more. I can't seem to... Oh, my meter's empty, that's why. Yeah, there are some skips you can do, especially with the dash. But it's not as insane as some of Rouge's skips. Yeah. I haven't actually played this all much, so I've forgotten a lot on where I need to go and what I need to do.
I might be able to get around this turtle.
Yeah. So Silver, as you can see, he's just been vastly improved over Retail. Retail, it was
This hanging ruin
pretty much Gary's mod, bugs and all. I'm gonna keep this up. Pretty much acts as a shield, because this guy's absolutely about to shoot at me. And goodbye. Yeah, so Silver is... I wouldn't say he's my favourite of the three hedgehogs. I do think Sonic just has the best gameplay. But I no longer eye roll when it comes to playing as Silver. Which does seem to be a repeating theme throughout this project, doesn't it? I can actually have fun playing Sonic 06. That alone is going to make the last update worth the wait. Just again, as long as they take their time. Please, like, I've been making a lot of nods to the last update coming, but please, please take your time. Make this last update the best it can ever be.
grab it with my psychokinesis. These are submerged ancient ruins.
Wouldn't it be cool if one day they can, like, revisit Soliana and these, like, ancient ruins are somehow related to the, oh god, what are they called? What are they called? The little rock things from Frontiers. Coco, that's it. That'd be pretty cool. People can say whatever they want about the new writing for the series, but I just feel validated as a long-time fan that all these things are coming back. And meanwhile, I completely forget where it is I need to go. Ah, I think it's over there. Just to safely make it, I will ESP overdrive.
If I can hit that ball with this,
Are you going the right way? No, you're not. Oh, just made it.
those enemies look like they're guarding that cage. It seems I'll need to defeat them first.
I hope one day they give Silver the proper redemption he deserves. Like, he's such a good character. He's just has the unfortunate circumstance of being debuted in this game. Not like this specific version, but like 06.
That was easy.
We're on to Silver's Dusty Desert. Now, I did just hear a symphony of groans from across the world.
You wait, Iblis traitor.
Don't worry, this level is not nearly as awful as it was in the original.
Bomb and throw them back.
For those somehow unaware, yes, this level was genuinely awful in the original game. Because of these stupid balls. Now, not these ones. These ones aren't that bad. Don't worry. We'll get to it. I said not that bad. Two of them appear to have gotten stuck. Never mind. They are unstuck. This game's the best. Yeah. Thankfully, I need to redo the one, but that's what happens when you smack them too many times. Thankfully, you can stop them now. You can't grab them, or like pick them up, as you can with other things, but you can stop them in their tracks. That will come stupidly in handy later. Now, if I ESP Overdrive, because there's a gem box there, grab that, and I can legit just fly over the entire section. Then just backpedal a little bit to get this switch. Then go right back over. And as you can see, ESP Overdrive, it knocked it back at him and stunned him. Now, Amy, the amigo who needed the most improvement. This seems to be a running thing for Silver's campaign, doesn't it? She is faster than before. No longer has the she no longer has that stupid invincibility. She can now spin, similar to how Tails can. And her attacks just overall come out faster. Her double jump is way better than it was. And yeah, like a lot of things in this game, I no longer groan when having to play as Amy. Even though, as of now, this is the only playable section with Amy. Until the last update comes out, this is all the Amy you're getting. Obviously, End of the World is not a level yet, so we can't play Amy's section in that. And Team Attack Amigo is not in the game right now, so we don't get Amy's section of that. So even if you're somehow not a fan of this improvement, don't worry, this is the only time you play as her. Yeah, back in the original, that attack, the hammer attacks were just super slow, and the hitbox just wasn't good.
Hey, how about going down? Now you can move on, right?
Thank you. If I'm not careful, I'll fall.
Don't worry, just hug the wall, and you will be fine.
Attacks are useless while the shields are in place. Attack when the defenses are down.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to deal with the big guy, so I'm just gonna ESP Overdrive.
I might be able to
Can I do the same trick twice?
if I use my power over
Not quite. I don't think the meat would have lasted, and I'm getting swept up anyway. But ESP Overdrive is still helpful in this section by blocking all the enemy bullets.
Those enemies look like they're guarding the door. Let's start by getting rid of them.
We'll be using a few psychic knives. It's just a nice range attack for Silver. Now, this ball section was arguably one of the worst parts of the game, like, ever. This ball was stupidly unwieldy, whatever the word is. Like, it was so hard to control. Those walls were not there. It was stupidly easy to knock it into the wrong hole. But even if you make a mistake like that, you could not stop it like that before. And if you've watched playthroughs on this game, particularly the Game Grumps run, yeah, this section does just suck in the original. It is just so bad, but here I can stop it, line up my shot, knock it over, and boom. There's even... it even pulls itself in. So whereas normally that section is just the worst thing ever conceived in a video game, now I got it on the first go. So rest assured, this level is not nearly as bad as it was in the original.
Perfect.
which gives me hope for when End of the World does come out, because that level, oh my god, that level is just stupidly hard. But we are now moving on to Silver's White Acropolis. At this point we have fought Sonic and realised, hey, maybe killing someone isn't good. So now we're going to go find Eggman. Damn, invisible walls. You couldn't let me have fun. But yeah, this section is pretty much the same as Sonic's, only we're playing as Blaze and not on a snowboard. But the same giant snowball will still chase you. Blaze also has like this little pounce attack. Blaze is also the victim of the lag spike of Doom and Despair. But we're back in control of Silver once again.
You can use your psychokinesis to grab missiles and throw them back to make them explode near the enemy. Security tight. You don't want to be discovered. Be careful.
Actually, if I ESP Overdrive, can I just skip again? Almost. So close. Yeah, as you can see, we are getting a lot more from Silver's ESP Overdrive than Shadow's Uninhibited, because I can just use it more often. Yeah, coming towards the end of Silver's White Acropolis. This section is almost identical to Sonic and Shadow's. But we don't have to destroy the searchlights. Are they still here? Yeah, the searchlights are still here, so I guess Eggman repaired them after Shadow's visit. Because in the timeline, Shadow arrives at White Acropolis first to rescue the agent, which was Rouge, and then Sonic comes shortly afterwards, followed by Silver. So I guess he just, I don't know, it has like a repair drone or something for the searchlights. Even then, he's got to be pretty sick of hedgehogs knocking at his front door now. But yeah, so now we are moving on to Silver's Radical Train. Again, even as Silver, my opinions on this level remain the same. It's a level that, for me, is just there. Only this time, we're not chasing a train. So we're not actually under any kind of time limit on this level, unlike the other two. We are chasing Sonic, but we're not actually chasing him during the level. That's just the mission objective. So yeah, so if you've struggled with the other two, you can feel free to take your time with this one. A neat little detail though, the doors that had been busted open before are now replaced by flimsy wooden stops, because Sonic and Shadow have already been here. Did I miss one? Do you count towards that gate? Oh, they totally do. That just seemed like it wanted me to BSP overdrive.
Blow away these containers with my power. I can't grab lasers. It looks like I can only avoid them. It looks like I can jump up and grind them. I can't attack enemies I can't see. I'll have to wait till they show themselves.
Isn't there something? Is there supposed to be something in that box? Yeah. Actually, I believe we're at the end of Silver's Radical Train already. I don't think Silver gets a Section 2. No. So Silver's Radical Train is shorter than the others.
Perfect!
Yeah. Coming up to my favourite level for a third time. It doesn't have any less value because the character's different.
A laboratory like this?
Aquatic base, once again. Unfortunately, we can't play as Silver in this first section. We have to play as Shadow once again. This is pretty much identical. Well, yeah, it literally is just identical to Shadow's run through this level. We don't go that way. Where do we go? Up here. But it's already over.
Shadow, I'll be looking out for the truth.
So yeah, Shadow section, pretty much identical. In fact, actually, it's a bit shorter because there's not a second wave of enemies. To the point where I'm now just thinking, what's the point of that section? Like, we've already done that bit as Shadow already, plus our whole level to himself. Well, the whole story campaign to himself. But this time we'll be taking this cheeky little skip here. ESP overdrive, keep the meter up, and over the gap. Contact with an enemy during ESP overdrive will automatically stun them, pretty much guaranteeing you get the kill. This section, it's not a floating ball, but you want to watch the lasers still. You can't wall jump over them like Shadow can. Yeah, my opinion's another the same though. It's my favourite level in the game. No matter whose run through of it I'm doing. Now we're back here. Now we can take this pulley. If I can reach it, there we go. I'll wait for my meter to refill a bit, and then onto this bit. You're supposed to slam, but I can literally just take care of 6 things at once with ESP Overdrive and grab a little shield on the way. Other characters have it, I just haven't felt the need to go out of my way to grab them. Yes, this bit is a little different to Sonic and Shadows versions. No, actually, you don't need to go through that bit. Whoops. No, you actually have to go over here. That just gives you an extra item. I forget which upgrade, but I would grab it anyway. But, so the ball is back, but much like with Sonic, it's way more forgiving, way easier to control. Just be sensible and you'll make it through, no problem. See there? I fully let go of the stick without pulling back. I didn't at that time, but the other time I pulled on the stick, I just let go of it, and I still came to a stop in time. If this was retail, it'd still be going, and I'd probably bounce into a laser and die. So, thank you Chaos X for making the ball sections less hell. Again, I know for Sonic it's the final level, it's meant to be challenging, but it's just too much. Plus, a new gimmick on the last stage is a bit... why? But I think this version handles it way better. We're now on to Silver's Section 2. Immediately hitting the overdrive. We've got the awesome music coming back once more. Hold up. Let's be smart. Build us some ESP overdrive, and now I can make it over. There we go. And it is once again taking every bit of willpower in me to not hum along with the music. Oh, there's a spring. I could have made it with ESP Overdrive, but also I did just stop talking for a second to let you enjoy the music. Boom.
Perfect.
Right, moving on to Silver's version of Kingdom Valley. So this version, again, very similar to Sonic in some parts.
Don't have time. Let's get to Elise right away. Leave it to me.
That cutscene was a bit different, and as you can see, Sonic has already gone. I know he's the fastest thing alive, but wait for me. Yeah, the scenario's pretty much the same. We're pretty much racing against the egg carrier.
Staircase is damaged. Now I'll have to use my power.
But this is now entirely from Silver's perspective, except for one section. So, naturally, this level is slightly different from Sonic's. Okay, no. I say slightly. There are some sections that Sonic just never went through. Which I like. Silver's campaign does feel like the most different out of all of them. Not just because of his vastly different moveset, but because he does take other routes through levels and goes through different levels at different times compared to the others. Which this project, I think, helps show better. Obviously, Sonic never went through any of this bit. Regardless, still an amazing level. Definitely a highlight, even with Silver. Where's I? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go over there. I'd say it's my favourite level. I can't remember where to go. Okay, I probably could make it over there if I activated ESP Overdrive, but it would break the platform I was on. To be fair, I probably shouldn't have activated there, but we'll make do and just wipe all the enemies out. We still make it through regardless. Silver will still take damage in ESP Overdrive. Keep that in mind when using it. Silver is not invincible in ESP Overdrive. But it's really good for, as I've been doing, flying over large gaps, taking care of large groups of enemies. Even though Silver just excels at that anyway. Silver pretty much has a one-shot combo for most enemies, that is the slam and the grab. Or, if this group of enemies annoys you, just wipe them all out. To be fair, Silver not being invincible is probably why they just sort of let you use it more often. Where do I go again? Again, I praise this level so much, but for Silver I can hardly remember where I'm going. So I'll meter refill and take care of the rest of these guys. Unnecessary ESP Overdrive, but hey, that looked cool. We're going to ESP Overdrive all the way through this section. Oh yeah, so this is probably like one of the longest levels in the game. Even though Silver is quicker in this version, he is still he still has the slowest base speed of the three main hedgehogs.
Darn it! I should have realized Eggman's skill.
That's alright, Silver. You're not the first person to be tricked by him, nor will you be the last.
I'll take it from here.
Now, we get to play as Sonic in Silver's campaign. For this brief section, we will be taking control of Sonic and going through pretty much the same section he did. Silver can't make it over, so Sonic takes the lead. We unfortunately, despite just hitting the ring count, we will not be able to use Supersonic. Now, unlike in Sonic's version, these staircases are somehow already broken. I forget how to best make it through this section. I'm just going to sort of throw stuff. Then just slowly fly over. Don't want to overshoot on accident, which I've done in the past. Yes, it was as funny as it sounds.
Sonic, leave this up to me. You go after me. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, so at this point, Sonic is about to rush off into the water section, his max speed section, while we deal with the enemies. Oh, I actually beat my time. So, however clueless I was during this part,
Perfect.
I'd clearly been more clueless before. But now with that, it is Silver's final level. Silver's last level is Flame Core, where he is now taking the fight to Iblis, fully confident he's able to steal him away for good. But we start the section as Blaze. I don't believe we actually did start this level as Blaze in the original game, though. Which, again, it's nice. It's nice to play as the Amigo characters during the last levels. Obviously, Amy can't be with us during this level. Because what does Amy actually do in the story?
I'll take care of this.
Like, I know during this time Amy didn't do a lot during stories anyway, but it still felt like she had a purpose, even in Sonic Adventure 2. Despite a majority of the game feeling like she's just tagging along, she ends up serving a vital role in jogging Shadow's memory and bringing him to the good side. Okay, I should have been quicker there, but... Yeah, but in Sonic 06, what does Amy do? I guess she saves Sonic from Silver during their first fight. Actually, yeah, to be fair, without that, the rest of the story couldn't happen, because Silver was absolutely ready to kill Sonic. Like, never mind, I kind of take it back now. Plus, she helps find one of the Chaos Emeralds to bring Sonic back to life during the end of the world. How rude. You know what, I'm going to be more rude and just sort of ignore you then. Goodbye, stupid mats. Yeah, you can just ignore most of the enemies in that bit. Again, if you're a bit quicker, you can make it on those platforms, but I will instead fly over. I'll ESP Overdrive just to get more flow so I can skip these platforms. Even though this isn't a speedrun, it is something I'd like to do someday. Dude, ESP Overdrive, it's so overpowered. That initial burst just wiped out that whole wave of enemies.
You're not gonna get in my way, Ignis.
Whoa, the camera changed. The camera suddenly shifted and now I'm lost. It's over here. You are so mean. Yep. Right into the volcano. And yeah, don't panic. That fire doesn't do anything unless you move. Yeah, this is Silver's version of the interior. It's a very similar route to what Sonic and Shadow take. In fact, a lot of this level is the same across all three hedgehogs. Well, obviously for Silver, the stakes are raised a bit more. He's going towards his final battle. Isn't this door supposed to open, or is it a different one? Did I do something wrong? Am I supposed to break these for Silver? Or did I just go I went the complete wrong way? So yes, this actually is a bit of a different path to Sonic and Shadow. So this is where the level starts getting a bit different. Thankfully, I think it would have been very underwhelming if Silver's final level was just the same as the other two. It also might explain why this level is way longer. We are 6 minutes in. Yeah, again, I could have ESP boosted, but I'm saving it for what if I remember correctly, what's beyond this door. Yep, this is it.
What is that flame? Is that the power of Iblis?
So, this section.
Attacks come in regular intervals.
Yep, so every now and again, he's going to do that huge burst. If you are not behind cover, you will take damage. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. But because of ESP Overdrive, I'm going to be a bit more reckless. I actually have to hit that rune. Although I could actually fly over here. The attack comes out, go over. Hit the springs and this section's basically done.
Let's go!
Hit that rune. Now this is where you'll get Silver's ESP Overdrive if you haven't already, assuming you have all the S ranks. Which for Silver's are very easy. Yeah.
Good.
So Silver will take on his final battle against Iblis. A battle that we, for the time, cannot play through yet. But it's coming. Possibly sooner than we think. One more level in this game. Blaze's Wave Ocean.
The Iblis trigger. A blue hedgehog. Can it be true? I need to find Silver fast.
So yeah, this one takes place at night. Or is it sunrise? I don't know. Either way, scenery's a bit different for this last level.
Whoa!
But it's the same level again. We are pretty much just going through Sonic's version of the level as Blaze. Yeah, and with that, might as well just give my final thoughts on this game since this level's not very long. Yeah, this project is genuinely fantastic. Like, you would have told me, however many years ago, that Sonic 06 could be a good game, or a game I'd enjoy. I'd say, ha, no way. But this project has thankfully proven me wrong. Like, this is some of the most fun you can have playing 06, and when the last update is out, I can safely say it will be the definitive way to play 06, even if there's no story content. The story, you're not even missing much, because the game technically never happens.
Are you trying to crash on purpose?
Like, that's the thing with Sonic 06's story, it's irrelevant, it never happens. The timeline, like, sort of resets afterwards. Yeah, when this last update comes out, this will be the best way to play the game. It'll have the boss fights, it'll have all the levels, it'll even have some of the DLC. I don't think boss attack is coming. But I'm not losing sleep over not being able to play boss attack. All the bosses will be there anyway to play at your leisure. There's some good stuff coming to this game in the last update, and this is a project that is absolutely worth your time playing. And worth your patience waiting for the last update. Hopefully it's not much longer now, but obviously the last thing we need is a rushed update and this game becoming Retail 06 all over again. But yeah, that is Project 06. Every level has been done back to back.
Can't complain.
But yeah, so obviously the stream will be staying up, but I do want to thank everyone who did show up during the stream live. Genuinely, every view counts, every view just means so much to me. Every subscriber, again, like, I love all of you. And I cannot wait to bring more content to you guys in the future, whether it's Risk of Rain, Sonic the Hedgehog, or whatever my current hyperfixation is at the time. But yeah, I'm hoping to see you all soon. And until next time, see ya.